Hello everybody, welcome back to IECS Spring 2025 Valorant. I'm Schmergen here, I'm joined by Kurt, taking into our second week of Valorant now. We've got two teams that are looking to prove themselves, I would say. We got DCU Giants up against TUD Aurora, both teams that had made playoffs in the last semester. Kurt, what do you think? What do you make of this one?
I'm really excited for this game. Both these teams, as you said, made the playoffs. They had some really strong showing, some big names on there, some very recognizable names if you do know yourself some Irish Valorant gaming. With things like Slush, Ruzi, EJR, Murph, lots of different people, and just two really strong teams. Both of them, they won out their games last week. 2-0, so they're both on track to try to take themselves forward, try to take it back to the playoffs that they have brought themselves to. So really excited to see what exactly you're going to pick, and we are slowly getting through ourselves a little veto.
Yeah, veto is just done. Yeah, it's just finished. So Abyss and Lotus are the maps that we're going to be looking at this week. Now, I believe Aurora played this map. Oh no, it was DCU played this map last week up against ATU, where it went to OT. 15-13, they had to win it out. So maybe a chance for Aurora to strike, because I definitely say I'd look at them to make it a bit further than ATU in the bracket. So this might be leaning Aurora.
Yeah,
but I'm looking at Slush in particular here because he was talking some smack. Well, not really smack, he was talking anyway about how his team gets into playoffs. They never get as far as they think they can, right? They always get shut down because they lost to the TUD A team in Boyfriends last semester. And he's thinking, that game should have been grand finals. We should have been going all the way. So there's no greater game than now when you're against the TUD B team, who's also a team that were a semi-finalist last semester. If DCU can take the win here, then they've proven, okay, maybe they should be going the distance. But if they end up choking it out here, then he's not going to be able to follow up on those words, Kurt.
No, you got to back up the words with some punch, with a little bit of showing it in the server on the maps, and that's what they exactly need to do. You're exactly right, and winning this game is absolutely pivotal for both these sides because they are going through, it's early on in the stage, nothing is set in stone, everything is up for grabs. So getting every single win you can, you get your first week win, getting a second week win, and really just opens it up and just gets them keep pushing forward, keep just trying to cement yourself into that playoffs as soon as possible and get yourself that comfortability that you can get to, especially when you're these two teams that are really strong, that have shown that they're able to make it to the playoffs, as you say. Just a question of can they do it. And Abyss and Lotus, I think, looking at some of the videos from the previous ones, I think TUD played Bind and Split last time, so they haven't had it themselves tested on it this time round. But always a good time to show it off.
I'm looking forward to Abyss. I don't think Abyss wasn't played last week at all, so we get to see it for the first time this season. And I'm really wondering if it's been shaken up a bit, because the meta has definitely developed quite rapidly. A lot of teams using Vice now. Everybody's using Sova. And then there's variants with some teams like to use the Viper, some teams like Double Smoke, some teams like Double Niche. I'm curious to see what these two teams will run. I would imagine that Aurora is going to run Double Smokes because they do have Charlie Murphy, and he thrives on the smokes. So I'd say they're going to try to run double. Maybe him and Ruzi would be on it. Ruzi on the Astra, Charlie Murphy on the Viper, maybe.
Yeah, it could definitely be something. I think last week they were running a lot of double duelist plays out from them. So it'll be interesting to see. Like, obviously, you expect different players. I don't know if we have Murph this week to be able to run that, which you would expect. But, a lot of different ways it could run. I think the meta has really shifted in a way that a play style is a huge aspect of how you want to play as a team. Of that kind of talking about what agents you're going to pick, how you're going to try to set yourself up for success and get moving forward within the maps.
Yeah, and in this context as well of the collegiate game, which is two pretty high-level teams based on their performances in the past. So this isn't like a Oh, we're a team that always makes playoff. This team hasn't even made it out in years. We're just gonna pick Reyna and start running at them. This is a game where you're gonna have to respect both people on either side.
Yeah, exactly, and you're gonna see that play out. And you know, always fun when there's a little bit of trash talk, a bit of smack talk coming up behind it, because that's when you really get tested. Because either you can back up your words with some gaming, with some wins, with some kills, or you get absolutely thrown back by it, and then your words get used against you. Which either way, I think is fun for the community, but it's really up to yourself if you get to that situation here. And we are just waiting on a couple bits to come through.
You just have one player that should be hopping on, and then you can get into map 1 of this series. I mean, it's still very early days for the bracket. We're not really 100% deciding stuff today.
No, it's just
But
it's just pushing
either
forward.
team in a decent position by going up 2-0.
Exactly, because they do have some really strong teams up in the group that they can try to come up against. We have obviously TUD Aurora is a strong side, but you have like the trendy shorties coming up as well, and it's group of 6, so we'll have to see what they're going to bring.
Oh, I think I've just gotten insider knowledge. I think 6-5s is stepping up to the plate.
A little birdie just told Schmergen.
A little birdie just told me. I think I know who the 5th man for DCU is going to be. There they are.
They've appeared.
I'm just going. Okay, maybe this might shake up what they're going to run now, because 6-5s is known for the Cypher, known for being the Rat, the Sentinel. So are they going to play around that? Is there going to be maybe no double smokes or no double niche on the DCU comp?
Change. Be interesting to see, and we are going to break our way into game in just a moment. So buckle up, get ready, and we're going to see exactly what we're waiting for.
There's the Vice. Okay, and Vice is a very modern day pick. And 6-5s is running the Cypher. But
one moment,
classic Valorant moment right here.
A PC crashed.
A PC crashed.
Perfect to start us off. But no, we got a little glimpse. We got teased a little bit as to what we are going to be coming up for.
I think I've seen Vice being played in Ireland like once, legitimately. I think once, and it was in, I think, the semi-finals of the National League last year.
Yeah.
So that is
so far not a tested agent in the field.
No, not in the Irish field anyway.
Not in the Irish fields, anyways. So I'll be interested to see how that kind of shakes up, how they're actually going to be able to run that and make that work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in this context, like obviously they're very much played a lot more now since they were brought in and weren't played very often, but their integration has been very quick this past year.
And while we get the 5th man back in here, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsors: KOKA Noodles, Reraw, Dogpatch Labs, GG Machines, PlayAid, and we are powered by Natives. Are all making this possible and allow us to show you some banger games just like this one, which hopefully less PC crashes.
Yeah, that's all we can hope for, and that's really it. Just waiting to see you guys all readied up so we can take it back in, but
I'm seeing the R's. Nothing gives me dopamine like seeing R's in the chat.
R.
R. Here we go. So Kieran is gonna be picking up the voice. And Murph, okay, they're running double. Oh my goodness, I can't believe how disrespectful the comp is.
I mean, knowing Murph, I can believe it. like knowing the agent selection we have seen from them, and just absolutely going in blind saying, we ball pick Reyna.
I mean, that was a formula he had like all semester last season. So if it ain't broke, I guess. But it was a really close time game. To break,
but so because I don't think they ran it actually last week. Thinking of it, I think it was just they ran some Neon, some Jet. So they haven't actually popped out the Reyna just yet this time around. So interesting to see. So they're going straight for it once we get here. And if we're seeing those hovers come through, we're getting some very different comps.
Yeah, double an ish on the side. And a Tejo. Tejo, I mean, definitely usable on Abyss, but not a map where you'd say he's somewhat necessary or busted or anything like that. He's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not like a fracture good or anything.
No, not the same.
And we're also not running a breach beside us.
No, so you're going for a different idea there. Instead running with the Sova. But as we said, the Sova is just really, really strong position right now, and to be able to run that. But going to this, opens ourselves up to start into the first pistol. Going to be exciting to see, as we do have DCU starting over on the attacker's side and TUD on the defender's side.
What am I looking? I can't believe we're running Jet, Reyna, and Clove. Like, TUD are playing full run it down.
Deathmatch.
Yeah.
That's all we're here for.
So does that mean they're going to be pushing like every extremity? Is B going to be pushed here by Murph? It looks like it is, and he's going to be finding an engagement as well. In the form of 6-5s, but 6-5s is better.
Waiting it out, holding it back. I guess if you know that the Murph is playing themselves a bit, you're gonna wait for it. But Kieran is gonna take that kill over on 6-5. So frag back here, but the middle lurk over towards EJR is gonna be successful. So 3 versus 4 now. The attackers are just pushing forward, taking more of the kills. Slush gonna take another, gonna get forced out by the Teo util. And so that site is free for the taking here. Just need to try to keep it going. And Slush is here to take some more heads. Just Charlie Murphy left alive, just the Clove. And I guess, you know, if you get a kill, you get a pick-me-up. You try to turn it into something.
Takes 150 HP. Very scary now, especially if he picks up the Ghost. Or gets this kill onto Slush. He's very greedy for it. He gets it, but that's all he'll get. And I gotta say, Kurt, that was a worrying round just from the start of about how TUD lost that. They lost it because they gave away the opener because one guy pushed down with an eagle. Fair enough, he's Reyna, right, he can get away with trying to do that. But then Scott does the exact same thing in mid and gets caught out. There's so many just TUD players not being too considerate of their surroundings and saying, I'm just gonna push. And just take a gunfight, and then not ready when somebody's watching for them.
Yeah, I mean, kind of goes into what Murph was cultivating, you know, just go straight for the same age and go straight for that. Bit of disrespect, honestly, but like, it's justified in many cases there, but getting punished for it nonetheless. So, gonna have to see them pay for the struggle that they have just come up. And now taking it slow, they only have the pistols, they're not gonna be able to get much going on. Just a few sheriffs. And maybe take some heads, but overall it should just be DCU trying to cultivate a little bit of a strong start, get a 2-0 beginning, and see if they can reap a bit more of what they're sowing.
Yeah, they don't want to leave it down too much to time here. That's a fantastic opener. 6-5 apparently just has Murph's number at the beginning of this game.
Yeah. You'd think it'd be the other way around because his number is 6-5s.
Oh, AGR had some great shots. And it should be solidified now with the spike going down in a 4v2. There's no shot. Guns are not really retrievable either, so as long as somebody holds this line, this should be a done round.
Yeah, it definitely should be. Just kind of some spam from both sides, the Guardians, the Sheriffs, everything's trying to ring forward, try to take something here, but they're not biting too much here, DCU. Just a lot of shots firing through. Kieran, good for one though. Sanglo taken out. Good for two
nice.
as well. Misha caught out, and really just a situation. Maybe you just try to get away, but not going to be an opportunity for that. Still, round goes to DCU, but they make it a little bit more costly near the end, so there is a little consolation in the end. But still not enough.
I'd say it was a good hit, to be fair. Like they had two Bulldogs, two Guardians, right?
That was a high investment round. It's going to be costly, and I mean this third round looks really, really good if you are on the side of TUD.
A lot of half armor on them though.
Yeah,
Guardian would
Guardian shine.
free shot you, I think, in the body, right?
Yeah, so makes that situation a lot nicer. I mean, just hit the head, I think, is a way better scenario. But we're opening it up though. Ruzi takes out EGR. And really nice way to open it. And they're putting a lot of pressure in mid here, and Slush is good for the one. Murph stays alive and is able to dismiss away to at least some semblance of safety, but there's only a little bit of safety here. Gets pulled, gets salvoed, but is still going, sitting back in the corner. The Overwatch of Ruzi. But they're still kicking as Sanglo tries to push forward here onto A. Just jumping around, trying to take some fights here, and she'll get caught off by Kieran.
Man, I was almost about to call them geniuses. And
just a little bit too far, that salvo.
Yeah, just had to place it a bit deeper and it would have been fine. It's okay. Look, early days for Tejo, right? Early days for Tejo. It's like the second
gotta learn
game.
the tech.
Yeah. We'll learn. That won't happen again, right? It won't happen again.
We will never see any more blunders on Tejo. Don't quote me on that.
Actually,
really
if you consider last week as well when Tejo was played, it's not, the staging doesn't look great for the Irish scene. I don't know if we understand him quite yet.
Too difficult.
Not ready yet.
I'm gonna try to open something up here. Kieran just going straight, throwing the rose. Gets a little bit of info.
Kind of surprised they do it like that.
Yeah,
Definitely place it so that they could pop the flash whenever they want info, but it doesn't matter if they click in heads.
they're just opening up. Charlie Murphy gets another one as well. So this is the buy round. This is a nice bit of rifles for both sides, but DCU falling flat, falling to a couple of nice shots here. Just sprays. And now sitting back, they've lost so much control already, just trying to take a little bit of a push main through A. Smokes bloom, but everyone should be here to try to fight this out. 1-for-1 for Misha. And Sanglo just has to sit back. The spike is not in any of a good situation here. They could try to salvo their way out, try to force some positions open, but right now it's going to be a struggle. 6-5 gets Scott, though. Oh, and they're just taking these fights. They're getting a little bit too up close and personal for their own good here, but Kieran's in a good spot in the corner, sits back, takes one, takes two, and that's 4 in the round to finish it out. They get a little bit blunderous. They get, you know, a little bit too big for their boots. But in the end, TUD are going to take it, even it up 2-2 now.
I'm wondering what the comms were like when it was in that 3v5, I think it was, 3v5, 3v4. And they wanted to go out onto A, and they knew about the Vice wall. Because Sanglo very clearly jumped and baited the wall, but Misha went straight through. I wonder if the comms were so not clear enough that Misha thought that Sanglo would go with him, but then Sanglo just baited him.
I'm in love with this play. I like this.
This is the Na'Vi
It is.
play right here. You have 3 people
And
pushed
I
down mid.
love them just straight up going for it here on round 5, just committing to it, taking the fights. You know, it's called inspiration for a reason. But now it's looking like Misha's a bit stronger. Hitting the heads, takes 2 for the sheriff price, and now they can recover some weapons. Sanglo takes a rifle. I think they're trying to get something here.
Oh no!
But Slush has the drop, but gets dropped themselves. This Kiron showing themselves off here. We were wondering how their name is pronounced, but they're making the name for themselves.
And both players are here on the site as well. Ruzi, though, 145 with the sheriff. And what a shot out of Misha. Potential for 4 on the round. Just has to close out this player on 5 HP. Is all. Only sheriffs in this round as well for DCU, may I remind you.
The investment was so little, but the impact is so huge here in Ruzi. They have nothing here, and they're actually going to opt for the save here. The money is not there, and they just want to keep this op online. That's a huge round for DCU to just snatch away, and it all opens up. They go for the push down mid, but in the end, they have a man disadvantage just due to the shots Misha was hitting.
Yeah, you gotta wonder what was it? Were they maybe too eager to take the fights? Everybody just kind of went one by one at elbow there.
Just swinging into the barrage of bullets.
Swinging into the sheriffs. That must have been it. Instead of just like holding the space and being like, guys, we have literally all of mid. Just anchor down one of the sites.
Anchor down, play a nice. You can play a really strong retake here, and that is a lead taken by DCU, snatched away because now they don't have to invest too much. And now they have so many ults available to them. They have 4 online. The only one that was invested was Slutch's Bladestorm, and we are not going to talk about that one. But the rest of them are ready.
I'm wondering what kind of synergies you can get going here, because you have a lot of area denial with the Armageddon, Cosmic Divide. Like, there's a lot of it is just, oh, I can't stand here anymore.
Yeah, you really just get forced into such terrible positions here. Oh, and Akiza. Not even the ult that's been popped, but they still get forced back here. The Huntress Fury from Scott here is going to actually could be good for one. Sanglo taken out. That's an ult offline. That's a lot of damage done. That's a Charlie Murphy swinging. There's taking these fights with the pistols, with the recovered weaponry. And now 4v2, they might not have the full sound through the Cosmic Divide, but they do have the positions as Ruzi's good for 1. 6-5s is good for 2. Needs to keep fighting, needs to try to get up to 4. But they're pushing onto him. He needs to take some more fights, and he's almost good for enough, but the Vandal's out of bullets. He's out of time, and Kieron's got the Sheriff to finish it out. 3-3. Man, pistols. You don't need the rifles, it turns out.
Yeah, pistols are doing more work right now. But the economy is balanced out mostly again. Just Spectre on Charlie Murphy, and that's basically a rifle for him, right?
Yeah, I mean, what more could you need? I mean, just go run straight in as the Clove, die, use not dead yet, die again, and that's all I got. And
then you have like half the map and the amount of space you gotten from that, right?
And then you can play smoke anywhere you want. This is all genius. I agree completely. The drone, EJR, gonna clear a lot of space here. The salvos are going to force out Ruzi. Not gonna hit any shots, but stays alive. And Scott on that mid lurk, playing it out, is gonna take out 6-5s. And now the defense has rallied. B is up for grabs, and they're just gonna go back and forth here. Slush and Ruzi good for 1 each. And we're seeing Sanglo push heavy on forward. Gonna try to take some fights here, play around the smoke, and it's gonna actually be good to get the plant. Still 3v4 though, and a lot of ults online. Sanglo's position should be good. Takes a couple, not dead yet. Needs to just fight it out here though. And actually, they turn this from a 4v3 into a 1v1.
Such low HP on Scott here as well. There's no way. And you have Armageddon. Everything online here, and the shot is hit. What a round out of Sanglo there. A hero just sitting in the corner of B side.
That is a really, really good round. Yeah, you're putting in. Yeah, that is absolutely phenomenal. It all comes off that initiative they were running as well. Just going forward, taking that space, letting your teammates sit back on the site to get the plant, confirm that. Whereas you can just stay as the Teo, going ahead, keeping that spot. You take out Charlie Murphy. You keep that good location. You don't let them use Not Dead Yet and get the value they need to. And you just take the round into your own hands and then win out the 1v1 clutch. Really good. And as we said, the economy was already shifting negatively for both sides, and now the TUD lost that. They're going to be forced down to a little bit of less cash here. They maybe have a little bit on hand, but it's not going to be a lot, and they need to try to do something here. Otherwise, DCU are going to finally get to break away once again.
And given the track record, TUD win this round, right?
Yeah, I'm you know, I know how to recognize patterns, as we stated last week, so we're going to see that going forward. We're going to see Murph get flushed upon and pushed upon, as Slush going to not be able to quite make it up on top of the site.
Teho has been very good at these B takes so far. You just molly under the catwalk and maybe library as well, and all of a sudden you don't really have any places to hold B whatsoever if you're the defense. So the Teho is showing his value.
Map placeable mollies are pretty good. Who knew?
Who would have thunk?
Who would have thunk? Not me, Scott. Good for one. They do take out Sanglo, who we were just speaking the praises of. That is a huge neural theft, actually. Scott's going to be giving away the position of everyone as now they're forced back. Their time is ticking, and sure, they can try to go for a bit of a defuse. Sure, they can go for it, but the time is ticking. 2v2, though. They're just spamming on through, but it's not going to be there. The time is not going to be found. Murph is going to try to get something here, and actually going to slow down Slush with the bullets. So everyone dies. The round is DCU's 3-5 in favor of the Giants. And now we're good for both buys on this round 9.
This is a bit of a swing round now. DCU may have broken away a bit with the lead, but it can quickly come back to haunt them if they lose this round, because the economy would be in shambles.
Yeah,
only
definitely.
A bulldog as well for Sanglo he's opting for. No way.
He could invest more, but he's going for the...
Oh.
He does still have the Armageddon online. Actually, scratch that. It's not a bulldog.
It's an outlaw, which is good. 3 players at 1 shots. One of them, unfortunately, though, isn't Murph.
Exactly, and was huge here, and we've seen this time and time again. We spoke about it. But Murph gets forced out by the salvos, blocked off by the Cosmic Divide, and shot out by Slush. The spike is going to be planted. No, it's not the other thing. And now 4v5 is going to be such a huge struggle here. They do have themselves a little bit of ult here. They can see some liquid metal get thrown, and we can see that try to get some power here. But Sanglo, we talked about the outlaw, and they're making it work.
One enemy remaining.
There is no hope for that, unfortunately. There's too much space there, and even though they invested the Steel Garden, Sanglo still had the Armageddon online, and that's not getting suppressed.
No, and even then Slush also, just, you know, all you need is the classic. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't mind the investment from it, but when you have so much space and you know what ults you're up against, it's really hard to justify for TUD. And now the lead is sitting firmly with DCU.
And they're set up for another one as well based on this buy, but we've seen Stranger Things. We know how this can go. And now we're seeing a very slow push up towards A here, but the stack for the defenders is towards B, so really just a game of picking opposite sides, and that's going to cost them. The plant is going to cost them most likely a round as well, unless some absolute heroics can be done on this. Your little drone is not going to be happy going through there, man.
It's not all terrain.
It's most terrain, but not Razorvine.
Oh, okay.
But here we're seeing a retake begin, and let's get it going.
It's going to strike again. The eco strikes again.
All they have to, both Furies are going to be huntered. But Scott's is going to be the one with heavy value. Armageddon is thrown, but the time is ticking and it's just 6-5s left alive. All the ults have been invested. Everything is thrown and the kitchen sink, but it goes the way of TUD. And every single time, that is around. I don't even.
The initial decision is good, I think. When TUD, oh yes, TUD are on an eco, we should go A this time because the Vice ult is not going to be nearly, or our Vice setup is not going to be nearly as strong, right? That's smart. Maybe not, was having Slush play. He had somebody with him, but they didn't destroy the drone. Slush got tagged. He dipped back in while he was still scanned. There's a lot of minor things, like the micro was not great for DCU that round.
The post-plant setups were just not quite where it was at there. They went very aggressive, but when you're very aggressive at holding those angles versus, you know, these the close-range weaponry like the Buckies, like the Spectres and the Stingers, you're going to be pushing towards it. But this round coming up here, they are just going to be taking it back to Old Faithful. B has been working. B has been going strong. And once again, it will lead to a man advantage here in the 4v3. They don't have the spike down this time, but they do have the holdout of Sanglo with an op. So that operator's going to do work. 6-5s is also going to do some. And Scott needs to be another hero here. And Sanglo jumps across the gap, peeks over, takes out Scott for the refrag. And gets a 7-4 there. A lot cleaner. They just went for a complete shooting gallery on B and it works out.
Yeah, they made it look like that round was actually the eco.
Up against it, and now
I mean, B just looks like it works, I guess. DCU are just so uncomfortable A that they'll lose against an eco, but then even when against a full buy, no matter what, if just go B, boys, we keep on winning this site. Maybe it's because Murph has been playing here most of the time, and this is a really good adjustment from to maybe, you know, maybe a little the last round of the half, maybe a bit too late.
Well,
but
you can get a 5-7 half if you're TUD, maybe try it. And we are seeing something, I think, a little uncharacteristic. Murph's going 1-9. They're just getting absolutely decimated over towards B, so maybe this switch up could do work here. Especially because Kieran has been having a solid game. And I think, you know, the double duelist setup has not been thriving for them. They just don't have the util to play around a lot of these positions. And now the slow pace is going to actually favor them right now because Murph is going to be the only one tested if they're rotating all the way back towards A.
Kind of surprised by this. They must have
know.
They must have thrown the Tejo drone and found the Vice setup, right? And then they said, guys, we can't go here anymore. We have to go A.
Yeah,
straight into Murph.
Resistance. Yeah, straight into Murph. But this is not a Murph that you're too afraid to fight up against. Their duels have not been going their way, and when you only have the Sheriff as well and they're not hitting their shots, it really is just a case of falling flat and taking that little L. Bladestorm is online for Ruzi, who's sitting back in the spawn here. And the backup can come, and Scott can find the heads. That's a double up, and that is going to give a lot of time, a lot of breathing room, and Ruzi's just going to use that to take themselves another kill. 4v2 now. It's a couple on the board. Kieran pushing forward with the short. He's not going to take another 6-5s as well, and they're just doubling up. They're teaming. 4 kills for Misha, and 6-5s is there to tag along with one of their own. 8-4, and that half is solid. And they just take it.
It's a little... I want to say it was a more kind of a faulty half from TUD there, because there were multiple rounds where DCU said, we're just going to go B this round. Murph is like the only person there. He's trying to take an early engagement, dies because he's got Tejo missiles on his feet. Slush is swinging him and headshotting him. This happened like twice, I think. And on the other side of it, they never swapped the Vice setup. So DCU just didn't go away. Kept on going the side they were winning, and they only switched it up right at the end. And even then, it got found out, and they rotated. So it's maybe a bit more TUD not adapting on the fly fast enough. And Slush is doing what Murph couldn't.
Yeah, so much power there. Just throwing forward the tailwind also, you know, the backup there.
Oh my god.
And now they're able to stay alive, they're able to pull back, and they're able to take some more heads here, and EJR is there for the backup, but Slush 4 headshots with that Sheriff. Do not even need to care. That round is quick. Blink and you miss it. But that's the exact thing that Murph was trying to do all half with no avail. And then Slush just does it straight off the cuff.
I mean, just keep on going to the guy that has the Sheriff who's going to shoot your head, guys. I don't know if there's a single piece of util to, like, contest Slush there. I think they just kind of went into him. And he's going to take those every day of the week.
But that's also the situation you set yourself up with when you go for this kind of lineup of agents, when you go for this comp. What do you throw at them?
Throw the darts, I guess.
That's all. It depends on what vice they bought up, but they don't have much to throw other than bodies. And now starting it off, Ruzi's taken, Misha's taken. Just keep on firing. The Marshal,
Almost.
good for a nice bit. The Guardian as well, backing it up, and this is just going to be a cleanup to get to double digits here. Kieran making a little bit of fun, maybe trying to get something here, but it's a classic in hand. Maybe you can take out 6-5s, you can take a weapon out of the hands, and you can turn it into something here, but it's seeming like it should just be 10th on the board.
DCU are looking to run away with this now. It was pretty competitive in the first, like, 5-8 rounds. Now, it's looking like DCU all the way. Only one kill Kieran can find for now. If they can do any more damage, they'll be happy enough about this. There's a Vandal on the cards and a Guardian, but none to be found, however. So they'll be able to carry all this weaponry over into the bonus.
Exactly, and should be good to be able to convert it. You have so much room to work with. You don't need to try to rush the win either. You can play for the econ. You can play for the long game. You have so much more attrition in you than the side of TUD can really attest to. And now we have to see them get some value here. We have to see a site take come through, and a successful one at that here. 6-5s will fall.
There it is.
The perfect time to watch it. There, it's going to now camp for some info, get a lot of info, and now try to force people back. The salvos forces Charlie Murphy forward, and forward is where a lot of pain can be found. The salvo's good for 2. Ruzi and Scott, you don't stand in that little glowy area. That's where pain exists. 3v5 though, and now still a huge position to be in. In DCU, you just got on the cleanup crew, Sanglo with the salvo and the Spectre. Good for 3. And the rest of them going to come through Misha.
It must have been. It was. They had the Astra Suck on it. That's why they both died. They had the Molly and the Astra Suck.
That is
genius.
That's the combo.
This is a theory crafted comp that they have. Wait.
There's some strats behind this.
Yeah, there's a book behind this for sure. This is really impressive from DCU. That's a great combo for your defense.
It really
you
is.
compare that as well with the Vice as well. I'd imagine, because obviously 6-5s is standing in here, so I would imagine on the main roster they'd have the 5th player on Vice, the Wall, Zuck, and the Molly there is a deadly, that is like VCT level combos, so I'm really impressed here.
Oh,
and it just keeps going.
Goodbye, Slush.
Last player standing.
They're floating down. They're still floating.
Oh, they're trying so hard
We'll
to
find
stay
God
alive.
someday, Slush. It's so deep.
Somebody guess the guy with the sign that they have at the EMEA arena for VCT, where he has the tally for every Abyss death to Fallen.
And now ooh. They get the drone forward. They get the recon. Is good to be able to at least give time there. And now they have the spike in hand. They do have 40 seconds. It is a 1v2. Maybe something could come. That the kill pickup there onto Sanglo was quite huge.
30 seconds.
So maybe Scott has been an absolute saving grace on what has been a tumultuous map so far. Seeing as how they only have 4. So maybe got to be the hero here. But the fact they are both committing, they're both going for are just playing it out smart, going for instead of trying to play out something wild, they're doubling up,
10 seconds
playing it out.
left.
Has the clove smoke, but there's just too much to fight for. There's not enough time, there's not enough they can do, and EJR triples up the kills, takes the operator as well for recovery, and it feels like we're up to what should be of near enough to the last rounds of the half of the game. Especially if this can keep going.
Yeah, they're almost looking at Lotus already, I'd say. 12-4, you've got 8 chances to close it out.
Yeah, clear your mind. Pretend it is a best of 1 and that it started at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. It's
But for
0-0
now, you're
right
still
now.
in the game. It's round 17. Life's still good. You're living life. You're good for the good first kill. You should be good for the second here, actually. And they're just pushing forward. They're taking the fights. And they are just going to keep on keeping on as Charlie Murphy goes forward. Misha good for 1, but fragged back. 2 alive.
1 enemy remaining.
And Charlie Murphy gets 1 before getting taken out. And a 6-5's just going to go back for the operator.
Oh, I'd say he needs to book it now. They're not going. I'm kind of surprised they're not hunting him down. Feels like a very Aurora thing to do, but they actually recognize that the economy is not great. They can't really hunt.
Oh, every death here would actually do just terrible damage to your economy here. You want to survive with 3, because if you got 3, 2 people can, you know, maybe drop something nice, get something going here. But they might still be willing to trade up 1. And I don't know if the chase is worth it. You already are up against a really good economy here. It then turned into a bit of an Aurora thing, a little bit of, you know, we can take the fight. We can win it out. But now you have to reinvest so much here, and there's so little room for error. There's so little you can run with. And we're reaching that. Oh, they still got it. I'm curious if they have to forgo anybody util to be able to.
They probably
do this.
Murph doesn't have both his Lears for 1.
Yeah, there is definitely a lot of struggle, and we're reaching that kind of inflection point where everyone is going to be at ults. I think the furthest away is 2 ult points, so we're reaching that point where maybe if you are the side of DCU, you just wait for the 5 ults to be able to be ran. B is clear, though. They're not fighting for it.
No.
6-5 is good for 1, but the not dead yet is going to slow it up, and they're going to frag themselves back with Ruzi taking out Sanglo, so keeping themselves good and honest here. Really good here, though. Neural theft. Murph is finally getting a little bit of value on the board. They know exactly where everyone is. Ruzi gets a little bit, looking down a bit. I think they maybe wanted to smoke dash away or something, but it's not going to be it. Still 3v2 advantage is in play for the TUD team. That is quickly foregone by Murph's death. But time is ticking, and these positions need to be strong here. Scott and Kieran, they have been doing some absolute work here, and that is going to be no different right now. Slush needs to run back, needs to try to stay alive. Going to try to save the operator, but those momentary fumbles might cost. But no, the updraft tech.
Clutch.
After taking 3 attempts to pick up the operator.
And he got it in the end. Can't criticize. Got it in the end.
Got it in the end, you know? All that matters is that they didn't die. I think investing a single updraft so that you save an operator, the value there, the trade-off, greatest trade deal ever.
Okay, so there is an Armageddon and the Hunter's Fury online. A lot of plant denial. I'm kind of surprised that Sanglo is opting to play on site here, considering they have these kind of ults.
Exactly. Oh, that's why he's playing on site. Have been shown off some really good power here with it. Maybe the slow burn is finally going to reach the end point here, as we see the 2 first kills go the way of DCU here, picking up wide.
Keep in mind, every second that ticks down before the spike gets planted is more value for the Armageddon and the Hunter's Fury. This is a dire straits if you're TUD.
Bladestorm needs to be absolutely precise, and you need to not be losing such high-value players. Henglo takes Ruzi and even starts firing some body shots just for insult to injury here. Kieran.
They've been very good so far this map, I'd say.
Yeah, need to be able to do it. Got by the trap though. Everything is known the Armageddon. I don't know if that's the most optimal one, but you're throwing everything at it. You're throwing the kitchen sink forward. You're throwing the Hunter's Fury. Armageddon tries to lose his own life themselves, but Kieran, time's up, and DCU turn what was a very close start into a 13-6. Really, really, really good in terms of the team play, in terms of the comp execution, in terms of every situation. They play it out so well, but it's also a case of TUD just do not get anything rolling here. Uncharacteristic game from Murph, I think, is definitely a situation here in terms of the kill count.
Yeah, I think DCU just knew exactly how to shut him down. There were multiple times where, especially 6-5 in particular, he's probably the one calling it. He also topped an ACS, the sub. Typically coaching.
Game
so
on that Cypher.
There are many
everyone
times
was so close.
where he would just sit at a spot. I think this happened in round 1, where he just sat in B main, waited for somebody to push. Murph walked straight into his crosshair. And then there was another time in particular on the B retake when DCU were on their defense side, where they just did a high-low at library and just waited for somebody to push further in, and they got a kill. That's the round where I think Misha had 4 kills, I think it was. So yeah, they just know the timings that TUD are going to try and take, and they're exploiting them really, really well. So that's seriously impressive by TCU. And hopefully they'll be able to double up on their maps as we go into Lotus right after the break.
See you in a second.
All right, welcome back to IEC Spring 2025 Map 2 now of this game between DCU and TUD Aurora. Map 1 went pretty well for DCU. It started off back and forth, but DCU found their footing fairly quickly, Kurt. Do you think we're going to see some of the same here?
I'm thinking, and I think it depends how things are running here. We are seeing Murph not go for that Reyna, which I think if we're going by the way that game went, is a completely fair situation. Like, I'm not saying that they need to fall back on anything, but I think if you're not hitting your shots, don't pick Reyna. It's a very simple little idea that you can run with here. So I do think maybe a kind of a change of pace could be really good for them. And it is quite a nice one as well to be able to run that. As we are going to see a lot of changes over on the other side as well, as we see Misha go on to themselves, maybe the Tejo.
Yes, looking lightly. It makes a lot of sense. I have to add as well that 6-5s, who top fragged last map, is now on the coach slot for DCU, and Ink is brought in. Ink, very good in the Irish scene, been around for a while, and is very, very potent on this raise. So I'd say this is an explosive comp for sure. Breach, Raze, and Tejo. All they have to do is just pick a part of the map, dump the util, and say, that's ours now, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of the counter, but you just kind of get forced out. That's really the situation here. It's
that's Tejo, baby. That's Tejo.
That's why you got the Tejo. You run that, you just get completely pushed away. It's just a question of trying to come up against it and what exactly you're going to be able to do for now.
Yeah, this is smart, at least from TUD, to just forfeit A. There's no way you're getting out into rubble up against this comp. It's just not happening. So
especially
opting
if they are going to be putting all three in that direction.
Yeah, this is brutal.
Putting all the power over there. So I think good decision to put the focus over towards C for now. The nade's going to be good. It's going to slow them up. The first nano swarm is going to be popped. The second one going to just back it up, build up some time here, and Scott going to be able to make it forward, but falls as they're just into the firing range, into the util. And they are just going to die for their troubles here, as well as Ruzi, who is just behind the smoke.
Yeah, very premature from TUD. They just really wanted to get into sight, but shredded by the util. I think Scott was on probably 17 HP and just had to get right-clicked once. And then the Aftershock took them out as well. Great follow-up from Misha. I mean, all the bases are covered here for DCU. There's no ins.
No, they're just getting absolutely stonewalled no matter where they wish to go. And 5v2, they're just sitting back, still in towards B main.
30 seconds
Maybe trying to find something here. But they're going to be up against a barrage of a couple of pistols, and Sand Glow is going to be good for it.
So DC are starting just as strong as they finished last map. And I think, no, there's no shot. TUD are considering the force. Scott's got the stinger up. I sure hope he's not tilted. Okay, the rest of the team is on board now. The force is in.
Committing to it, you're going to see exactly where they go to push it. It could be a situation of, if you know they're going to keep investing this heavy A presence with three players, trying to change it up yourself could be good here. If you see the salvo, if you see the stun, if you see the paint shells, maybe slowing it down could be good. But they actually saved the salvo. They don't opt for it this time. And it's actually looking pretty nice
Oh,
as Murph gets one, but EJR flanks over, gets a double.
that's
Taken out here.
brutal. Well, I don't know about
3v
that one.
3v3 is not a terrible situation to be in. You recover a couple of rifles. You also spread the defense so thin right now. But Slush could just win the round off this proactivity, especially hearing Ruzi run. Takes out the first, takes out the second. The third is easy pickings as well, as Scott can't finish it out. So looking a bit dicey off of the heavy push. But the heavy flank from Slush just finishes it up and gets them up to their second round. And now that force is going to come back to bite them a bit, as they're opting for a little bit more of a half buy once again.
I think that was a great round to show just how confident DCU feel now. You had 2 people push down A, and Slush says, "Ah, yeah, sure, I can push down C as well. No worries." And he gets the backstab. I think it was just completely on his own. So the confidence is sky high for DCU. Just hope it doesn't come to bite them in the behind.
No, I hope it doesn't get too heavy and that they get punished for. But for now, they are gonna not be actually being too confident there, because we see there Slush doesn't overstay their welcome, doesn't over push themselves. They do get still taken out by a stinger at close range, but that's bound to happen anyways, right? 2v2 now. Paint Shells force Sanglo back, trying to fight something here. Gonna be good for it. Swaps to the pistols both sides as Ink and Sanglo get themselves a couple of kills, get themselves the round, and that's a 3-0 start to the game. And they're just gonna recover themselves some rifles, make sure the economy is fine-tuned, and that is a nice bonus to be able to get yourself on the board with.
There was another play in there from EGR. I cannot believe the gall on this breach. To have the round before this push down into A, take 1 kill, and then he decided to re-swing, and then that round just run straight through the smoke into a stinger with the Bulldog. I mean, sure, man. His confidence has got to be so great right now.
He used all his util.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for us to come collapsing.
I mean, once you use all your util, the only logical next step is to throw your body on the line. You know, throw yourself an aftershock, throw your fault line, do everything you can, and then you move forward. It makes complete sense. But now we are going to see A actually get tested, get pushed forward, and EJR jump spotting along is going to get tagged down, but not taken out. So still alive, still can pop some util, pop some flashes, as the defense are all just trying to contain the situation.
Oh.
Misha, you have the timing, you have the position, but you don't have the kills here, and you're trying to take out Murph. You're actually good for it. And you do some damage to Ruzi, but that's going to be it here. And now, as you said, when does it all come tumbling down? With about 50 seconds left, it seems to be where it is at here. But Slush's position is primed. Still a 1v4, still a lot to fight for. But he's only going to be good for the one. Leaves Scott on basically 1 HP. But finally, TUD back on board, take the round themselves.
Yeah, but can they stop DCU from running away with this? The buy is kind of scuffed, but they do have a Rolling Thunder online. So it could get deadly for maybe a retake, maybe a re-clear of some area if TUD decide to play a little slow, like they did last round. But it looks like it's just going to be the C hit, contacting up as well. You know, the arrow's invested now. Should know about the C presence, and Murph tried to do this last time where he was left to lurk onto A and then got shut down by Ink. So I'm wondering if it's going to be much of the same this time. They've actually left him. He's creeping up here. They could pivot back here to A.
Slush's position. That's a good drone. That's a good push. That Showstopper is not going to find any kills, but it is going to force everyone back here, and it's going to make that C site completely open for business. Ruzi can get the plant down.
There.
And in this 5v5, it's looking good. Misha's going to be able to drone forward, though. Going to be able to get a lot of info there just off the back of it.
Murph is going around the world here. Is he going too slow is the question. He's going to have to speed up here if he wants a chance. But the kills are all happening on site. He doesn't even need it. TUD.
No, that's a side
on
quest.
to 2 now.
The real meat of the round is going on, and they're just going back through, enjoying the scenery. You guys, they don't need him.
Yeah,
it's fine.
My teammates have got. My teammates are goated, right? They've got us. That's me, actually. Guys, I have a huge flank. Just live, and then I don't even see a single person. Buys up for both teams here, and the economy for TUD is looking quite nice. They can afford to lose this, but the difference is that DCU cannot. That's not a great way to start. Slush down. Ink trying to save the round, but instead falls in his desperate attempt. And now it's just a 3v5. DCU have limited options here. The Rolling Thunder might be the only one, but with Misha falling, it makes it so much harder here. And it's done already.
Yeah, the round is said and done. The shots are ringing over. EJR maybe gonna fight back for some more, but no, just the one. Murph peeking around, gets the info, gets taken out. But 3-3, and it was looking like a really good start, looking like a really good situation here. But DCU not able to keep that going, not able to keep that momentum pushed.
I'm kind of surprised that that's what DCU go for. I feel like if you're gonna try take or have rubble control, you should only, like, you have the Raze breach. Teho has no reason to put the Omen in there, especially when you're gonna lose your smokes as your first death. But it's not like it hasn't been done before. Oh, what a good trap play here. The flash is decent, but you have to hit the shots, and the shots are being hit. But it's all evened out until Kieran has said no more! 4 on that round. It's great shots out of him.
The shooting gallery comes forward. The Vandal rings true. Kieran just picks off every single head there. And we were coming into this with them, you know, not sure what they're bringing to the table, but they are bringing everything. They're bringing a feast. They're throwing everything at them, and though last game weren't able to get much success as a team, this time they're coming in through spades here, winning 4 in a row now.
And the ult economy has cycled in here as well. That's
Exactly.
7 online in just this round, but how do they get invested? A is taken fairly easily here. Much to the surprise.
They went from investing everything consistently to now giving away so much space here. They lose one towards A, and the lurk by Murph is good as well. Misha keeps going in for a little bit much. Not going to overstep their bounds, though. They're good for the one, and they're staying alive. It might still be a man disadvantage, but they want to keep themselves in a situation where they can try to fight back for it and see what they can do. And Murph,
yeah,
we're seeing a heavy push around, but there's a wariness to it. There's an idea behind it, and there is Slush ready to go.
That's big. Now you can play the plan. You're gonna get
everything down here.
What? He's baited it. Oh, it's still going in though.
Okay.
And he's gonna have the mollies online as well after this.
Yeah, should be everything to be able to play for here, but I don't know if they're placed right. They're not in a position to do it. Oh, Teho is stuck in. And now 3v3 turns into a 2v2, and now that's just one left alive, and that's Slush left to their own devices and taken out as Kieran gets the final kill of the round. There was a little bit of it seems that util hesitancy was kind of getting a little bit in the way of the round. They're trying to get everything, and it's just you know, there's so much to try to play with that they don't quite pick it up, but that is really nice from TUD.
The comms must have been so hectic, because Misha had the util to stop the plant, right? Armageddon invested, good. Salvos, a bit off the mark, that's fine. but Slush paranoid at the same time, and then they didn't go in with it. So I can't help but feel that Misha was trying to get him to stop, but Slush was convinced, we go in this time now, guys, right? I have paranoia, go in, go in. They didn't go in. And then the whole retake was scuffed after that.
It really was. That kind of disjointedness cost them everything there, especially with the amount expended. But just gonna push around. Murph once again on the lurk, takes one out over towards C. Terrible way to open it up for the side of DCU, and now they only have a couple pistols. They have one Vandal on EJR, but that is going to be it here. The rest of it is going to be up to the pistols, and that rifle is not going to be it here. Misha's going to try to do something with the salvos, but they are not going to be it. Aftershock forced forward. Murph going to try to take Misha, and they're going to be good for 3 in the round for them so far, and there's still 2 more to take. They could be gunning for it, and it looks like they are looking real hungry. As Ink is going to be tested and going to pass with flying colors still. Going to be costly. I think Charlie Murphy just slipped the net, and now Sanglo's left alone here. Good for 1. Body shot on Charlie Murphy is not enough for the kill, and that is now 6-3 here. That's 6 in a row for the side of TUD. They lose first round, second round, bonus round, and then completely start cruising their way through here.
This is a good timeout now. 6-5s has called us. Now, okay, what do you think is the problem here? There's been multiple times where Murph has been on the opposite side of where the hit is going and finds an opener. He found it like 2 times on C, and he found it 1 time on A. So you gotta think, what's the plan? Is it hold one side of the map? I'd say it is. If I'm DCU here, I'm thinking, guys, we need to just use our Raze, Breach, and Tejo and solidify rubble control. Because then Murph doesn't have a chance to get a lurk, or you shut down the hit. So I think they need to be playing a bit more to the strengths of their comp if they want to get some more rounds on the board, and imagine that's what 6-5s is saying to them right now.
Yeah, I think that is a perfect thing to throw into it. To try to change it up. The last 3 rounds of the half, you want to do something. You want to push something forward. You know that a change-up needs to be in the cards. So going for now, look at this. Look how heavy this A play is looking. Everything is going forward here, and they're just going to take the space towards rubble, and they're going to try to keep it themselves now.
Drone here is good, but it's not gonna note Ink. See, so now's the time you rotate to C instead of keeping this many people on A. Okay, I mean, it's fine, right? We have the 5v5 retake, we have Rolling Thunder, we have Showstopper.
We have a Showstopper, we have Lockdown. You have every single ult that is really good here. The Rolling Thunder should be good, but it's actually going to be the attacker one to slow it up.
That's a great call.
Yeah, take the initiative, start pushing them back before they can push upon you. They're looking for the 7th, 4v3. It's a great position to do it. Salvo is going to be thrown in just a moment to try to clear out some angles here, but the time is ticking, and it is not looking good right now. Scott might be forced forward, but the fights are winning out 1 for 1 here, and it's planted so open towards main that nothing can really be done here. The nades are going to be trying to be good here, but the Hunter's Fury, the Molly, everything is going to be thrown here. They're not going to take any sort of risks. Misha, you're going to have to walk back. You're just going to have to stay alive while the rest of your team are going to be falling. Charlie Murphy goes for the fight, but they're just going to start it off and not even finish it out. Could actually be a little bit awkward with it. They're going to have to invest around that single-saved rifle, really, based on how much money they have.
Yeah, a couple bulldogs to try and support it as well. It's... I mean, they had the right idea, DCU, but keeping 4 people at rubble after you take it like that is not the move.
Yeah,
and
once you
the
get
decision then
space-
from Kieran to invest the Rolling Thunder into Waterfall is pretty genius, to be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely just a huge decision, and similar. They're doing the same take this time around. You know, taking that rebel control, pushing it forward. They're actually gonna give it a little bit away, but now at least they're not just all committing to it, but they're pulling everyone away now. And
He can't keep getting away with this.
Keeping everything
Okay.
centralized, and Murph this time around is not going to find the value in the lurk. So that is a huge domino that's going to topple. But you don't expect all 4 players to then come after the lurk player dies, right? Right?
Ink looks like he's expecting us. He's jiggling this one
jiggling
out.
for it.
He even has Showstopper. Not really a spot to fly out with it, though. His life is quite important here, I'd say. He really wants to stay alive. Good flashing in, and that's Ink down.
That flashpoint is absolutely perfect there. Ink was playing it out so slowly, keeping it going. If there's a round you're going to Rolling Thunder here, I think it needed to be invested now, but maybe for the retake.
30 seconds left.
They actually still don't even use it, but now maybe pushing onto it. Need to invest it all at some point, especially if your team are falling, especially if Scott can take this forward position and can still win even when flashed. 3 in the round for Scott. Charlie Murphy
Perfect accuracy.
gets taken by Sanglo, and Lockdown is popped, but so is Sanglo, and so is the round that's over. Everyone
Last round in the half.
everyone just falls, and it feels like there's so many situations where these ults can be expended to get great value that just isn't coming in.
Yeah, I think you're dead right about that one as well, because they had the Omen smoke onto A main there. If they put in the Rolling Thunder, it's going to cover everywhere that's visible. Even the one player, I think it was Charlie Murphy, that was sitting behind that smoke. He would struggle to have to do something. He'd have to make a fight or flight response to take the fight there, just sit behind in the smoke.
It just gives you such forward momentum. Even if you don't stop the plant fully with it, you still create this situation where the retake is going to become so much more manageable. And now going into the last round of the half, they're going to need to get these ults some value here. There's an orbital strike available for the attacker side, so you do not want to give them the plant, because if you can play that post plant here, it's going to be easy.
And it's a similar look again for TUD. They've just found this formula, and DCU have been struggling so hard to adapt to it, of just put 4 people on one side of the map, put Murph on the other. We can't lose.
Just some classic plays here.
Oh no.
That timing is absolutely atrocious here. We are going to see Sanglo sitting in the smoke. We are going to see Charlie Murphy take out Misha in the back. Everything's going wrong here. Sanglo's trying to jump shot with the judge. There's just chaos ensuing, and not in the good way. There is some fights going on. Murph going to be traded out here. There's still 2 ults available. The showstopper could be massive here if timed correctly. And you know that Rolling Thunder could get just thrown main and try to create the situation here, but they don't have the space yet. They need to be able to take sight before they can give a chance to even try to fight the post plant. And now showstopper galore here, but Inks wins it out. Gonna throw it forward. Orbital strike is gonna be thrown, but it's actually misplaced, I think. No, it's not. It's perfect, but so is EJR on the Guardian, so they're actually gonna fight it out. They're actually gonna take the round, and the chaos didn't look good. It did not look good, but it is going to fall for the DCU Giants and give them the 4th of the round. They won the first 3 rounds of the half, and they win the last round of the half.
Just swapping in new fusion cells. Okay, my arm.
Yeah, flip from last map, right? Where it looks like TUD are the ones with a decent understanding, and then DCU are just struggling to adapt.
Yeah, like you can see the comp, you can see the idea that can be run, but like last map, I think the execution was absolutely phenomenal. Here, I think that it's that execution, it's that the mid-round calling, especially where it is kind of faltering. They're committing to a lot of situations here that you don't need to commit to, like that A main play. Really good. You take rubble, you take the space, you really garner yourself so much. You don't need 4 players there for the rest of the round. you can expend 3 of them, you can expend 2 of them and start to taper away back to B and C. But now on the attacker side, things are changed, everything's flipped, and Murph is good for the double up, showing a different side of themselves. The first game was a warm-up game, and this is the real feast. As that is a really good way to open it up. Try to set yourself up for the 9th, set yourself up for the 2nd pistol. Especially now that you just forced out all of the players from trying to take B with just a little bit of info here.
Oh, Ruzi could play a serious spoiler to this. You have to expect him, especially when you see the door open.
Boy.
Don't give him a chance. Oh no, even him taking down 1 is horrendous. Sanglo now has to be a hero, and a hero he can't be. TUD look poised to run away with this half, just like they did last one.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, you've created a situation here where now all 3 of them are on A. You can maybe try to go for the plant, or you can
30 seconds left.
go for this flag. This is absolute insanity to go for it this way, but I'm liking it. If you can get the position, if you can drop, if you can get yourself forward, it
Do we
needs
know
to be
the
so
tech?
silent here. Look at the time. Look at everything. I don't know if they caught a glimpse of him.
10 seconds.
But Knife is out, and they are actually ready for it as well. Just death-balling over in the site, waiting to see if he stays towards A, and they make the right call on that gamble. Both sides going for they're going to stick to A and hoping that it's the right play, and it turns out it is.
What have TUD got now? A lot of guns. A Bucky? No way Ruzi's going in with the Bucky.
Where are you
okay,
going
look,
with the Bucky?
the only hope that I can cling on to now for DCU is that in the last map there were a lot of thrifties. They're gonna have to repeat that kind of success, but it's looking bleak. Great opener. And it's TUD, they're the ones that are actually getting proactive, even though it is their anti-eco.
Yeah. 1 for 1 coming off there. Gonna throw that stealth drone forward.
One suppressed. I got the spike.
They get a bit of info, but Rusi's just gonna stick forward here. They got the Spectre in hand. Got a lot of power. And just with the backup there, you don't really need much to go with. So that is a nice little round there. Just keeping it clean, not giving away too much strength. And that 2nd round, just going to go down easy. But this is the bonus round. This is the 3rd, and this is where we can see DCU try to get something back here now that they have the rifles, now that they have some weaponry online.
Yeah, this is the test. If they've got anything for this attack side of Lotus, they gotta show it right here. This has to be a clean round, or else there's no way they're mounting this comeback.
Cover going out.
Okay, A stars here. Are they ready for the Cypher setup? They could, if they suppress him right here, that would be pretty bad. And there he is, so just go straight in, but Slush is getting held back.
When you say go straight in, you don't mean into the meat grinder, right?
They went straight into the meat grinder, that was my bad.
A bit of miscommunication
Sanglo.
there. Yeah.
Wait,
Sanglo
no, Charlie Murphy's going straight out. Classic Charlie Murphy right there.
Just slow walk your way through the smoke. You hear them running, you hear them trying to, make something out of the chaos, and you yourself get themselves to 11. So that is a nice round to be given that kind of support there. The suppression, you think that you have the power to fight it out. You know that the Cypher is no longer going to be an issue, but the barrage of bullets is still to be trifled with.
And now it's just sheriffs.
Keep up.
I cannot believe how perfectly flip-flopped this is from map 1, map 2. Oh, that's a nice shot out of Scott, and it keeps going. It keeps going. TUD cannot stop winning on Lotus. Abyss, that's DCU's maps every day of the week. Lotus, it's looking like TUD's paradise right now.
Yeah, that man advantage is going to be really good here. And the way the investment's running, it doesn't seem like there's any real way of slowing up the 12th from coming in here.
I got the spike.
They got the spike back. Mish is able to pick it, but still going to be costly. Scott taken out. Murph, though, pushing forward, taking the fights. Going to be good for it. And this is the form we're more expecting from a player like Murph. Taking these fights, getting a lot of impact frags, and now 3v2. Going to be a hard one to fight. And Misha sitting pretty in the corner. Ruzi and Murph, though, double up, take themselves some kills. 12-4. There's going to be an investment from DCU, but you need 8 in a row just to get to some OT. So it's an uphill battle, to say the least. An up mountain battle. Something. A lot of up.
This is Sisyphus's challenge right here.
Get it twisted, man. You need to do this.
Get it twisted. No matter how many rounds you win, you will never get to 12, and it'll just be a lost map anyway. Get it twisted.
Get it twisted.
It was going to be 1-1 anyway. You were good. Both of you were going to make it into playoffs. It doesn't matter. This game means nothing. Get it twisted. As long as you perform, you can achieve anything.
Out of charges.
Exactly. We are out here. We are ready. It all starts with 1, and 1 is what they need to get. And they're staying so slow here. Just playing out such a heavy default. And TUD are actually, they're holding such aggressive spots here now. They've taken Rubble, they've done the classic play. And they're just going to hold it up here. You have a great spot for Scott to stick to. So you can just keep this 2-1-2 running. And then turn it into a 1-1-3.
Standing ahead.
Out of charges.
But Scott is 1 away from the showstopper, so this is a perfect position to, you take 1 head, pull out the rocket launcher. You can go for something like that, or if they just don't go to it, they're walking into a heavy site with some setup from
30 seconds left.
from the side of TUD. But the fights are going to be taken. Charlie Murphy is good for the first one, and they need to start pushing back, and Slush is going to be the one to do it. Ruzi trying to fight something, going to get stuck in a salvo, and EJR gets a double. The time is ticking, though. That plant needs to come through, and it will come through, but on top of that, EJR is going to be good for 3. Scott, they know where he is. They know where the fight's going to be taken. He does have the showstopper if he wants to try to put the nail in the coffin, and he's going to hammer it down.
One enemy remaining.
And he's going to be good for first. That position, the spike is not for you right now, Slush. The silence is actually going to be so deafening right now. The confidence. You know Scott's not sticking it. You're just slow walking. You're not taking anything here. And now slowing it up. He's going to get it to half. He's going to fight it out. And that is good. Slush, steal. Everything. It's just, that is such a confidence play. You're 12-4 down, and you're like, he doesn't stick it. He doesn't.
He kind of put himself in a situation where he has to. Because if he makes noise there, then Scott knows he can get half and then just hold.
Yeah, but yeah, the situation really led that he had to do that. And I mean, you go for it that way, you take it that way, you get 5 now.
I like that. This is what I was saying DCU needed to do on their defense side. Take Rubble like this. You can take it as 4, and you break the door and you rotate over. So now bodies are towards B, in case the B hit was coming. See, this is what DCU needed to do on their defense half. And they have the better comp for it.
Deploying drone.
It's only 7 rounds in it. Don't know what else to say. You know, it's an easy situation here. Need to just play absolutely perfect for the rest of the half. No issue. The damage being dealt is huge. Scott gonna get stunned out here, but sticks around, not gonna budge a bit.
Oh my god!
Goes for the fights, takes 2, gets taken out, but 2 for their trouble, and now the backup can arrive here. Kieran, gonna get taken on the pushback, and these fights might be taken, but they're not going in a positive direction. Ruzi is going to be the sole
30
defender now, but he
seconds
hears the steps. He knows the rotate. Murph sits back, is holding a lot of this setup.
Uh-oh.
It's all about the
That's
timing. It's all
awkward.
about the moment. This trigger discipline is going to be good to actually realize some info. And now that can be heard is all the steps as Charlie Murphy is going to be the one that can try to pop a little bit of
10
defense here.
seconds left.
And they need to plant the spike now.
One
It's going to
enemy
start going
remaining.
down. You know that they have to be sticking to the plant here. They're revealed. They're darted. They're chased. They're running. They're out of time. They're out of luck. They're out of rounds. 13-5.
Defenders
And
win.
TUD, they bounce back to get themselves the win on Lotus. They might not have been able to do it on Abyss, but the second game, they've woken up. They realized where they were. And now that is going to be a huge, huge difficulty to run with, especially, I think we noted it to begin with. You subbed out 6-5s,
Yeah. The difference maker.
who was having a
Well-
phenomenal game. Obviously, you know, it's all theoretical as to how that could have gone differently, but it's definitely a case that I would say TUD definitely just found their footing there compared to the first map. They looked a bit lost on Abyss, but on Lotus they were thriving.
I mean, TUD looked lost on Abyss, right? But DCU also looked lost on Lotus. So I feel like
Yeah, they just
maybe
you don't
this
know
is
your
the-
opponent's map pick.
Yeah, maybe they did this is the most balanced map pick ban you've ever seen. One
Yeah,
team got
win your own
a
map.
good map, another team got their good map. I mean, what can you say?
Exactly, both of them tying it up here. Both of them get first win on the first week. Both of them tie it up. They keep their score line intense. They want to bring it down to the line once we do reach eventual playoffs down a couple weeks down the line. But that's going to be a hard one. That's going to be tough to swallow on both sides. But you have a lot to learn from, I think, as well. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot of I think there's a lot of obvious pinpoints, a lot of pain points that you can kind of say, okay, we need to work on this.
Yeah,
think
at
there
least it is pretty clear what you need to work on now. I
the
would say.
constructive criticism can be found through rewatching.
So if anything,
hopefully they
this
do
is-
that.
This is fruitful. This is a fruitful game for the two of them.
Exactly. And you know, you're bragging. You know, we had the talking from Slush and trash talking, and now this is like the worst situation. It's neutral. What do you say to them?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't lose. You didn't win.
Well, you know, it depends on how far they go in playoffs. You know, maybe they
Yeah,
maybe they do get the upset they're looking for.
It's got
but-
more weeks. It has to marinate for a few weeks.
Yeah.
before
Leave
it's-
them marinate. Exactly.
But yeah,
So that is going to be week
yeah.
2 of Valorant here at IEC. Again, thank you so much to KOKA Noodles, Reraw, Dogpatch, GG Machines, Play Aid, and we're powered by natives to bring another week of Valorant onto your screens now. And we'll hopefully see you on this channel throughout the week for all the other games that we got going on. So thank you very much from me and Kurt.
Yeah, and
and-
thank you to Oh, you were on, and thank you to
Go
our
ahead.
production. Yeah, thank you to our, thank you to Heltic on production and Akiza on observation. So you know, we had a nice old team over here. But yeah, that is going to be it from us over here, and hopefully we see you during the week.